just got this MDX dropped off today, and it's a $58,000 lunar silver A-Spec. Look at this interior. Wow. Wild. I'm gonna have some fun with this one. Currently grocery getting in the MDX. It's already time to wrap it up with the 2022 MDX, and I have to say I am impressed with this thing. I know going into this review I was sort of skeptical because Acura, as some of you know, has started positioning this vehicle as a flagship, and now coming from a long-term pedigree of sedan-based flagships, that's kind of a unique approach to take. Since I've had back-to-back vehicles to evaluate, starting with the Ridgeline, then the Accord Hybrid, and now the MDX, which is all new for 2022. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I will, in fitting fashion, park the MDX here next to its very, very distant and not even closely related ancestor, the first SUV that was sold under the Acura nameplate, which was really just a rebadge, Isuzu. This, however, reflects the latest and greatest in-house developed three-row SUV from the Acura brand, and I came away from this experience very impressed with it, both inside and out. I was an extremely big fan of the interior appointments in this. Obviously, you can see some really cool details in terms of the accent lighting. The rear doors do have a manually operated sunshade that you can put up there. Some great options back here for rear seat passengers, including USB charge ports, and this is obviously part of the tri-zone climate control. I have the panoramic roof all the way open right now, so you can see the glass portion itself goes to about the halfway point, or the sliding portion, I should say, and then the back here goes really back as far as the rear of the second row. There is a sliding sunshade here that can go basically in a variable fashion to wherever you want it to across that span. As far as some constructive feedback on where maybe I had some struggles with this vehicle, I would say the learning curve for the infotainment is a little bit steep for me. Again, I'm not very well versed in technology for 2022, but it does have, similar to the new TLX, this sort of touchpad interface here. I was able, after some digging, to find some menus that I needed, like over here, the steering wheel. You can scroll through the app button here, and it allows you to go down. Let me zoom this back out. You can kind of proceed through the different applications that way. So for example, when I was trying to pull music from my iPod, instead of even fiddling with anything over here, I ended up just sourcing it through this button here, and it all worked fine that way. But the finishes in here are really awesome, and that screen has excellent resolution. The other thing I was going to mention was the observed MPG. So you can see here, I averaged 15 over the course of 160 miles. The sticker on this advertises at 2125 city highway. So I was quite a bit off the mark there. Again, driving habits for this experience were probably a little more aggressive than traditional. However, I felt it might have done a little bit better on economy. And then the last thing that, this wasn't even something I thought of, but rather a friend suggested, that you know how the Accord I just tested had a head-up display. This could actually probably use some of the same interface. As I recall, the button was over here, and it seems like that would be a nice feature to add on the MDX as well. So I'll break it down for you on all the wins the MDX has, and here's my list. You can feel free to freeze frame the video and take a peek at closer detail if you want. But design-wise, I love the new aesthetic. It has this whole kick-down motif with the taillights similar to the new TLX, and I love the kind of evil eye that it tends to give you. And truly, I think they put a lot of effort into making this MDX live up to its new flagship positioning, and they've definitely succeeded in that regard. I do love all the lighting appointments up here. Obviously, this is just the daytime running lamps, but it has the fogs down here in the bottom and just exceptional nighttime visibility. Drivability-wise, I really felt like I loved the steering weight feel. And believe it or not, for being a huge people hauler, this thing, well, I guess huge is relative, but this thing has a pretty exceptional turning radius as well for being a big SUV. Nice power delivery and overall smooth 10-speed transmission. Surprisingly, I didn't find that it did a lot of gear hunting, so that was a good outcome. And just an overall really sturdy feel. This vehicle, you can tell, has undergone a lot of rigid dynamic testing to make sure that it's capable in a variety of terrain situations. And I didn't get the chance to really put it through an off-road experience, but based upon what I felt, you know, around town, it seems like it would be capable in pretty much any environment. The precision cockpit obviously is pretty awesome. I became, other than, you know, struggling for a bit with the infotainment, I became quite familiar and comfortable with the controls in the cabin. I love that little miniature MDX in the gauge cluster, the screen size and resolution, a great backup camera. I love that sliding panoramic sunroof. The sound system is top notch. And remember, this has wireless charging down here too, which is a really nice convenience, so you don't have to fiddle with cords every time you get in the car. And that accent lighting, like I said earlier, is just really cool and gives the cabin a nice nighttime feel. I hope you enjoyed coming along for the ride. And as always,